I am so tired right now. I had this whole plan to do this cute little skit where I find some tinfoil and I make a tinfoil hat and, act like I'm a conspiracy theorist and stuff. But I don't even have the energy to get up. After I'm done recording this, I'm either going to play The Sims or go right to sleep because your girl is not having it today. Roll the intro. What is up, YouTube? My name is Trinity and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So today we are going to be talking about what is currently a very big topic of discussion. Initially, when I planned to cover this topic, it was because my friend Kiowa actually requested that I make a video about it. However, recently this topic has blown up in the news just because there have been congressional hearings on the subject. Yes, today we are talking about aliens. Now, I will be totally honest, I didn't watch through all of the congressional hearings and all of the witnesses. However, I did see the highlight reels on TikTok and all of the memes about the government coming clean about aliens being real and nobody giving a fuck because life is so hard right now. And I resonated with that. If there was an alien invasion right now, I would probably be relieved that I don't have to go to work tomorrow. With that being said, I'm sorry to burst some of your bubbles if you were really convinced by the congressional hearings. Obviously, have your own opinions. I personally don't buy a lot of it. Some of the claims made about what was witnessed don't make a lot of sense in my opinion, and then also some of the testimony was about events that happened so long ago that the human mind isn't really trustworthy when it comes to recalling events, even from very recently. So I'm not buying that very tiny, minute details would be remembered, especially in a high stress situation like that. Like, imagine you're a pilot in a fucking jet going who knows how fast, and you see this object that is apparently defying physics or something, and you don't know if it is an attack or something, like a very high stress situation. You are not going to be paying attention to all the little things, and I think people's minds may have filled in the blanks. So instead of just kind of being a Debbie Downer and going through the clips of the hearing and being like, I don't believe it for this reason, or I don't believe it for that reason, or this guy is a dickhead and I don't believe a thing that comes out of his mouth. So instead of doing that, I'm going to give my personal opinions on aliens and UFOs and all of that, and what science kind of backs up what I personally believe about extraterrestrial life. Because it's one thing to say that you believe in aliens, that's a very broad statement, but I've given it a lot of thought just because it's a very interesting subject to dive into. There's a lot of questions, obviously, that may never be answered if we don't find definitive evidence of life outside of Earth. So that leaves a lot to the imagination, a lot of reasoning. It keeps you thinking for a long time. So do I believe in aliens? That is the big question. And the answer is yes, but not in the way a lot of people believe in aliens. I don't believe in little green men coming down in a flying saucer and abducting a cow or leaving crop circles. I believe that life that we are going to find outside of Earth may be similar to bacteria, just because bacteria is the most numerous form of life on our planet specifically. It is very simple, unicellular, and it is necessary for more complex organisms such as ourselves to exist. So if there's going to be bigger, more complex life, then something like bacteria probably would have to exist. Now, if we were to find some sort of living organism out just floating in space, it is another one of the three domains of life, being bacteria or prokaryotes, eukaryote, which are all the other things, and archaea, which are kind of like bacteria. They have some similarities, but they're ultimately different, and they seem to thrive in extreme environments. So think around geysers, glaciers, and researchers actually think they would probably be able to survive in deep space. Though even in that I could be wrong, just because the water bear or tardigrades are known to be able to survive in space, and they are eukaryotes, so they're more complex than bacteria or archaea. That's not to say that I think intelligent life is impossible or even unlikely. I think that there is probably intelligent life. Do I think it's very close to us? Probably not. I think the reason that we probably haven't come across anything very advanced, well, we haven't come across anything, but the reason I don't think we've come into contact with anything that advanced is because the universe is so fucking big. Our galaxy is so fucking big. So it's going to be hard to find anything. That's kind of going into the Fermi paradox, which is named for the Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi. In 1950, he and some fellow physicists were discussing the kind of paradoxical nature, the discrepancy between the lack of evidence of life outside of Earth and the likelihood of life being outside of Earth. It is so unlikely that Earth is the only planet that is able to sustain life. It is so unlikely that this is the only place where life happened, but we also don't have evidence of anything outside of it. Some people suggest that intelligent beings and societies may be extremely rare, or that abiogenesis, or essentially life coming into being, is extremely rare, or that the average lifetime of a civilization, which we don't know since we're the only example that we know of, may be so short that it can't really develop technology quickly enough to be able to communicate or travel to other intelligent societies to communicate with them. The Drake equation, which was formulated in 1961 by Frank Drake, is an equation that quantifies the likelihood of advanced intelligent civilizations existing within the Milky Way. Now, obviously, you can't use this equation to say for sure that there are definitely this many intelligent societies out there, but it does give several variables as to what would need to happen in order for these societies to theoretically exist. It essentially gives you an estimate based on these variables. So with the most conservative inputs, the equation gives a minimum of 20 civilizations capable of communication and a maximum of 50 million. Now, there are a lot of critiques to this equation due to how simple it is in some aspects. There are probably so many more variables besides the one listed here that could determine whether or not life even happens, let alone evolves into something intelligent enough to develop space travel or develop communication throughout space. Again, I'm not going to go through everything because this is all way over my head. This is more introducing you to it. If you want to go look into the Fermi paradox and the Drake equation by yourself, I highly recommend it. I just don't think I would be great at explaining all of the more technical stuff. So like I said earlier, there are a lot of theories as to why we have such a lack of evidence of life outside of Earth, let alone intelligent life. Life might just not be common. I doubt that we're the only planet with life, but maybe abiogenesis is so rare, and even if it happened, or maybe early life very easily goes extinct, and we just got lucky. Maybe intelligent life itself is rare. I would kind of believe that theory just because out of all of the species on our planet, not that I think other species are unintelligent, but the kind of intelligence they're talking about here is like building technology for space travel and stuff. Maybe that type of intelligence is pretty rare. Or maybe civilizations just have the tendency to destroy themselves or destroy other civilizations. The Earth has gone through 5 mass extinctions and is currently going through a 6th, so maybe planets are still recovering from their mass extinctions, or just natural events occur that impede the evolution of such technologies. Now this leads into the Great Filter Theory. I know I'm talking about a lot of theories and equations, but I promise you this one is very simple. I've essentially already been talking about it. But essentially it's a hypothesis stating that since there is no observed extraterrestrial life, intelligent or otherwise, at least one step in the process from life occurring to civilizations intelligent enough for space travel and communication acts as a filter. So this may be abiogenesis, the length of time that a species or civilization may exist, time for technology to develop, natural extinction events, or something else. Here's a scary thought. What if we're not past the Great Filter? What if we as a species are on the brink of discovering something, being able to communicate, but something is in our way? I hope that thought doesn't cause you some sort of existential crisis when you try to go to sleep tonight. Just kidding. Mostly. advocates of this theory generally say that we are probably past the Great Filter because, again, we haven't detected any life around us, so there would probably be more life and civilizations if we were still heading towards the Great Filter rather than one of the lucky ones that made it through. We just hit 200 subscribers. Actually, we are currently at 202 subscribers, so thank you so much to all the people that decided to subscribe to this channel and get us to this point. I'm thinking of potentially doing some sort of live stream or something. Nothing related to spooky content or anything like that, just something chill, maybe playing The Sims or something, so let me know what you think down in the comments below. Obviously, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your favorite conspiracy nut if you want to. Maybe send me videos of how to make a tinfoil hat and maybe what the apparent science behind tinfoil hats even is. And if you have any requests for future videos, please feel free to leave it down in the comments below. I love getting requests from you guys, and it gives me ideas that keep me going. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.